Welcome back to This Week in Waukesha, the podcast series, podcast number 2 on November 3rd, 2025. We were talking about some proud historic moments in Waukesha, probably most notably the 40th anniversary of Hannon's Bar. There was a celebration that my guest, Rob Baxter, and I almost missed, or we did miss, but you said you could hear it. So you live in downtown.
I live in downtown. Yeah, right.
Fantastic.
It takes me 7 minutes to get to school, 3 minutes to my other job. So
Do
I
you
have
walk
no
to school or do you
complaints.
drive?
What's that?
Do you walk or drive to
No,
school?
I drive, Don. Come on.
Hey.
That's all I need is for the kids to see me trying to crawl up that hill. Come on.
Point taken. Yeah. I
They'd be
forgot about that
honking the
hill.
whole way up. Baxter!
Yeah. Well, I just figure, you have if you're downtown and maybe your car's parked like in the garage or something, and if it's a nice enough day and you stop by the cup opens at 6:30 or so, and you get a nice hot coffee and or a nice
In an
coffee.
emergency, I
Yeah,
would get to school for the kids, but it would
sure.
have to be one heck
I
of
mean,
an
you probably
emergency.
see Dan Schreier running somewhere like before he starts his day, like one of his 2 or 3 like 5 mile runs. So you get
Funny you say
get him
that.
to
I
stop.
see him every now and then on the weekends, and I'll see him from far away, and I'll go North Stars, and I'll see him kind of look, and
That's
then he
funny.
sees me, and
Then you're anything but a North Star. You're a black shirt, right?
I
Class of
am a
'90.
black shirt. That's why I
So
like taunting.
to recap, my guest is Rob Baxter, class of 1990 at Waukesha South. Now works at Waukesha South as a teacher's aide and a
Yes,
freshman advisor.
I will
And then,
bring this up, Don, only because I
yeah,
told you it was all about me. I'm
yeah,
also you're with royalty tonight. I was prom king of my class,
sweet. That's
so
awesome.
it's
Who was
not
your queen?
always it's not always the quarterback that gets
Yeah.
the girl.
Who
So
was your queen?
Val Schmidt.
Val Schmidt. Is she still
Val
living in
Schmidt.
Waukesha, or we don't know? Is she
I
whereabouts unknown?
Yeah. We'll
Like
have to
DJ in
track her
Animal House.
down for volume 2 of this broadcast. I think
There
she's
you go.
still in Waukesha area.
That would be
She was
fun.
at
Like
one of the reunions, so
maybe next homecoming we'll get both of you guys to appear in the photo gallery, or
I'm all for that.
that would be fun. That would be a riot. That's what we should do is that alumni night they have for the first home game of the year. We
Right.
should we should do we should capture a podcast there. Like that would be fun. So
I
I'll,
I think that's
I'll
a
put it
great
on
idea.
Max's calendar and we'll figure out how to make the magic happen.
We're going mobile, Max. We're going mobile.
Own mobile. So now we finished the first podcast talking about Rob was Hallmark before Hallmark was cool. You could say he made Hallmark cool, a Hallmark movie. He didn't
I
have the
guess, Don,
fortune
you
of
could also say I'm one of the most intriguing top 20 bachelors in Waukesha, too.
there you
There's
go.
no way to
Top 20. I was
disprove
thinking top
that. So,
5, but anyway, so um, we were talking about a Christmas movie that a family friend of mine was in. It was filmed in East Aurora, New York, where Fisher Price is headquartered. I mean, it has like one of the last five and dimes, and like right on the main street. There has one of those old movie theaters where it's just like one gigantic screen. It's a really cool. One of our family friends used to call it College Town without a college. Just had a really quaint look to it, and it's about a girl that comes from New York. She's a lawyer that's basically closing this company. It was like a kind of like a Land's End type of thing. It was like outerwear and stuff, and the son was fighting to keep the company alive. And our buddy
I,
Daniel J. Greer is his name, was one of the employees of the company, and you could hear
I've
him
seen
laughing
that
at the
movie.
Christmas party. Yeah. So yeah, Dan's in that movie. We'll have to look it up sometime. But
I'm gonna go home tonight and see if he was competition for one of my ones that I didn't.
there you go. We might have to get Pete Schwab and we'll have to work on like a Wisconsin Christmas screenplay.
Right.
So
We'll call it awkward Christmas.
well, do you remember the movie All Mine to Give, which was about a Wisconsin fan? It was really sad. And it was a Christmas kind of movie. And
No.
they were settlers, European settlers, and like 19th century, and somewhere it's further north or west, central, somewhere in there. But it was one of those big families, God knows how many kids, and the parents die of like consumption or whatever, like something, and it's up to the oldest siblings to distribute all the younger kids to different families that'll take them in, and it's just like
Jeez.
such a sad movie. But we were watching this as kids, and of course it scarred us because I'm the youngest of 10. We're watching this,
Oh,
and
I didn't realize that.
I envision my brother Gary, like he's the one that's kind of like, you know, pushing him out, putting us, and that's how the movie ends. Is he's walking through the snow, and
Don,
it's Christmas time. Oh,
Don,
I
go
ruined the
take a
ending for you.
ride with
Sorry, but
Gary.
what?
I said, Don, go take a ride with Gary. He wants to take you somewhere. You're like, what?
Yeah. No, but he
Where are we
was like my
going?
second father. Like that's the thing is I know I would trust him with my life, and well, I still do. But that's how the movie ends. Is this poor kid who basically becomes a grown up overnight is now like at peace because he knows that the whole family's being looked after, and
Hmm.
that the community kind of came together, all these different families to like. And then I was like, well, what am I? Where am I going to go? I have to watch it again, but it's yeah, that's a rough ride. But um,
And I
anyway.
thought I cried when I saw the girl having to pick between the two guys in a regular Hallmark movie. I'm like,
Well,
geez.
right, yeah, that's hard too. Especially we've both been that guy. I'm sure that other the
Yes.
losing guy. But so the Josh, what's the guy? He's always the well. There's Aiden Quinn, Josh Hartnett, and Aiden Quinn. They're always the guys that don't get the girls in the movies. So
And you're like, okay, that's believable.
he better be paid more. Yeah, really, exactly. When you look at those two guys, but so going back to you, got some Hallmark movies in there. What other kind of work did you do while you're in La La
I
Land?
was in this is dating myself, a Judge Judy commercial,
Cool.
which when I think about it, it was I don't know.
Were you playing it for a defendant, or was it like that, or just more you ran into her in the street?
It was a guy on the street type thing. Yeah,
Okay.
I was more like what was his name? The guy that interviewed now I can't think of his name. You remember the stiff who'd be like, "Hey, so what do you think about you having to pay $300 to what was that
Oh,
guy's name?
oh, in the show, yeah, I forget. Yeah,
Now
he
it's
was like the
bugging me. You know,
he
he
was like
had
the
on the
interview guy.
cheesy
Yeah,
suit.
didn't he have like a yellow coat on too, like in Monday Night Football or something like that? I forget.
This is
I
gonna haunt me tonight.
yeah,
Um, I did that. I was in a LMU Loyola Marymount commercial
nice.
that, and I'm not a big college basketball guy, but it was the one year I think they made it down to the eight, if not a little bit
They had
further.
some good teams. Yeah.
It was 2002,
Okay.
2003 ish.
Yeah, they had a good
I
run.
I did that, and I was in a couple episodes of CSI,
Oh, cool.
NCIS. So what's funny is, like I said, I would joke
Oh,
around with people,
yeah,
not knowing who they were. I'd give
yeah,
tours of the building, and then they're like, "Oh, so and so wants to put you in the episode of CSI," and I'm like, "Okay, well, who's so and so?" And they
yeah.
point to the guy. I'm like, "Oh, that's the director. I didn't know." You know,
So
one was Anthony, the guy in Revenge of the Nerds that played Booger.
yeah.
He's a
Oh,
huge director.
that's
Anthony
awesome. Yeah.
starts with the B.
And he was
He
in
directed a
Risky
whole
Business. He was Joel in Risky Business.
yes.
Say what the
He
F.
directs a lot of TV shows
Oh, that's cool.
and like police drama stuff where you wouldn't expect to see me. I could
Yeah,
see me selling beef jerky in a commercial, not an
yeah,
NCIS like, hey, who's this guy? Well, that's the murderer. What?
yeah.
You
You're like, yeah, you're in the room then with the good cop, bad cop.
know, right.
You're not gonna break me. Now, I got to put a pin in this real quick because you said you did CSI a couple episodes. Did you get to meet Bill Peterson at all?
Yes.
So he's from Evanston, Illinois, right down the road from us.
I did not know that.
I lived there for about 15 years, and it was a place I really fell in love with, and that's why Waukesha actually reminds me a little bit of Evanston, that college town, and
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of history and a lot of tradition. But Bill Peterson's best friend was a regular at one of the restaurants I used to manage, and
it,
Bill Peterson was in town one day. He came into the pub, and at the same night, we had some friends visiting from South Africa. The wife used to work as a waitress and a bartender, and her husband was at Northwestern for like film school. He was like a one of the leading playwrights in South Africa, and he wanted to go into movies.
well, they had to recognize him right away, right?
His name is oh yeah, because that's To Live and Die in L.A. Bill Peterson's like first
Oh,
movie, big with
oh yeah,
Willem Dafoe from
oh
Appleton.
yeah.
It
Great
just
movie.
comes right back to Wisconsin. Um, that was a huge cult film in South Africa. like just blowout, like big. And so they when they saw Bill Peterson walk in, they were like over the moon. And like
Right.
and Dion went, his name was Dion Opperman. They said people, if you know anyone from South Africa watching, or in Australia, actually, where he made a lot of his movies. That was a big name, like in that world, and it was a really big deal to him to come and shake hands with Bill Peterson, and
And
you know,
great guy. He's
yeah, that's what, yeah, he seemed like it. Really
some
great guy.
people I can claim I met Steven
Yeah,
Seagal, big
yeah,
jerk. Big
I could see
jerk,
that. Yeah.
fake ponytail. I'm here
Mm-hmm.
as a TMZ reporter. It's a clip on.
Mm-hmm.
Um he was there. This is towards the end of the whole end of the good Seagal movies. Like it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
lots of acting and grunting and but one day the filming paused for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
He had forgot his ponytail at home. Someone had to go get it so he could look like Seagal with the ponytail, which you can't
Yeah.
make that up. Only in
Oh, that's
Hollywood,
hilarious. Yeah, yeah.
would that happen.
I love that. So that's
So, are
funny.
you ready for the next phase, Don?
Yeah, yeah. The
Mr.
homecoming.
Baxter leaves Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I get laid off from my job at the studio,
During COVID.
and at this point in Los Angeles, this for 2 years I had lived with Frank and
Okay.
his wife because he was traveling around doing comedy.
Oh,
Wanted someone at the house just to make sure,
that's kind of cool.
it's
Yeah.
Hollywood and who
Sure.
knows.
Yeah.
So I was friends with the family.
Yeah.
Then he had moved to Phoenix just to have a norm. They had just had a baby, and they wanted to have a more normal
A normal life. Yeah.
upbringing in Phoenix, Arizona.
Sure.
So I had gone there to visit them in Phoenix.
Oh, cool.
They had hired a nanny through a nanny service.
Yeah.
Nanny didn't work out. And Don, I made the joke, and this is why it's so important not to
Yeah.
joke around with people who joke around.
Yeah.
I had said I could totally do this job. And Frank said, "You want to be a nanny or a manny, or as it's
Well, this
been
is
come to
us.
be known now as Mr. Belvedere or
Oh,
Uncle
yeah. Okay.
Buck."
Yeah.
For
Or the
15
nanny on This Is Us.
for 15 years I was Frank's manny.
Kick ass. Okay.
That's what I did from when his
Edit that.
kids
Yeah.
were preschool until high school.
Yeah.
And I made the joke, well, obviously they're not going to do like a Jump Street 22. I'm not going to college with the kids. Like
Yeah.
the writing was kind of on the wall, like, hey,
Yeah.
the kids are leaving and maybe you should leave too. Not that, I mean, I did other stuff, help
Yeah.
around the house,
Yeah.
uh, kind of like a house manager type thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Drop offs, pickups. Most people are expecting like a 19-year-old Asian
Yeah.
nanny.
Yeah.
And then here rolls up some guy that looks like Guy Fieri after a 3-day bender. Oh, yeah, I'm here to pick up the Caliendo kids.
Yeah.
We need to check your ID
I was
twice.
gonna say, yeah, sure you are.
All the tattoos, like, hey, I got to call the principal real quick and maybe the superintendent. But
You
no, I
wear any
did that.
Waukesha South like shirts or anything, or like
What's that?
wear some Waukesha South stuff so that that. Although Frank doesn't, I guess nationally they wouldn't be known as the guy from We just know him as the guy from Waukesha, or the guy from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That would have
Um,
helped, though. Take the
Very
yearbook with,
true.
yeah, bring the yearbook with you.
So I was able to do. I tell kids and I tell people, I've done stuff you could only read about in history books or see on TMZ.
Yeah.
Like went to the Playboy Mansion,
Oh yeah.
met one of the three remaining guys that are alive, Secret Service agents from the Kennedy assassination.
Wow.
Talk about stuff that just like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Got to fly in an airplane, a stunt plane, and I find out after the fact the pilot was a pilot of 2 space shuttle missions.
Wow.
You know
That's
what I
cool.
mean? Like
Yeah.
just cool stuff that I
I
had the
love those.
opportunity to do.
Yeah. I used to work for a trade show company, so I'd get to go to Vegas twice a year for like 7 years, however long I was with the company, and we had guys we hired out there, and in fact, yeah, the guy I worked for. Remember the wooden nickel stores in Milwaukee when you're growing up?
That sounds real familiar.
And
Yes.
then, well, he was the CEO of the show, but he had his own kind of crew of people that would either come from Wisconsin to Vegas or they were already in Vegas. And we used to call them the Milwaukee Mafia. And well, one of the limo drivers, these are all one of the limo drivers was his name was Jerry Newton, and he was Wayne Newton's older brother. And he was a guitarist. He's a musician. He did all the
Yeah.
shows in Vegas, and he's retired, but he to make some walking around money, he was driving a limo, or just for kind of a more of a
Right.
slower life. And it was really neat. It was a nice guy. And it was like, wow, that's Wayne Newton's brother. Like, how cool is that?
Jerry Newton.
I think that was his name. Yeah. So it was neat. But I met people like that all the time in Vegas that had like some sort of brush with greatness. So
Well, that was my brush with greatness, was flying on private jets with Frank, and
yeah,
being the plus. I'm not ashamed to say I was the plus one at the Playboy Mansion. I mean, trust me,
yeah,
Don. They had it roped off where
sure.
even Frank and his plus one, you weren't going in there.
Oh,
But some
sure.
rooms, I mean, the carpet was shag like that. I mean, it
Yeah,
was so surreal
yeah,
to see girls walking around in bikinis with a monkey on a leash handing you strawberry hors d'oeuvres. Like, you can't make that up.
yeah. I remember, because I saw like a couple documentaries about Hugh Hefner, and like when it all started in Chicago before he moved to LA, and he used to have those like midnight shows where they'd have like different bands. Like he'd be at a bar, or it was his bar, and there's a little party, and then like the Grateful Dead would be next to the bar playing or something. And he'd be talking to them, and they'd be jamming, and it was like just a really cool scene. Like he was really ahead of his time. Like there was a lot. I mean, yeah, there was the scantily clad women and the nudity. There was a sex part of for sure, but there was that entertainment part. Like a lot of like even the magazine, like have the best college football reviews and the band reviews. Like I mean, Alex Haley wrote for Playboy. I mean, they really had um, a lot of great stuff in there. Like that was the magazine for like these wealthy businessmen, traveling
Yeah.
business. Yeah. So anyway, Max is giving me the 3-minute warning.
Oh,
What can't we forget? And I know you said you ran into the Zers in Arizona. Did you want to give them a shout out while you were
oh,
talking about?
shout out to the Zers. They obviously
Yeah.
came to visit Frank when Frank was living out there,
Yeah.
which he still does. So
Neat.
I had seen him. And then, quick story, how I ended up back at South. I stopped there to get a sweatshirt. Lots of alumni and girls I worked
Yeah.
or graduated with worked there. And they're like,
Nice.
oh, you should get a job here as a hall aide. We don't have any male hall aides. The boys are getting away with murder in the bathroom. I'm like, that seems ironic because obviously I was
Okay,
the
but
class
here, pass me
clown. And
some. Right?
so
That's good.
that's shooting dice.
Wink, wink.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Exactly. You got a
that's how
couple
I ended
dollars.
up back at South. And then I transferred from hall division to special ed. So,
Oh, neat. That's great. And that work must be so rewarding too.
oh, yeah, it's the best. It's the best.
Neat.
And then, Don, in my free time, if we have 30 seconds,
Oh, we do. Yeah.
I work up at the Waukesha Memorial in the emergency department,
Oh, cool. That's great.
talking to people who are having bad days when they come in there. So,
Working or just volunteering?
no, it's work. Yeah, it's
Wow.
on
Okay.
call. Obviously, it's
That's
hard to
good.
tell when someone's going
Sure.
to have a bad day, but
Okay.
so I do that on the weekend. So, in my free time, I find 45 minutes, to tell my life story here and there.
Well, we're really grateful for your gift of time tonight and sharing. And
No,
yeah,
I
we
appreciate
got to
it.
have you back on soon. We have to make you a regular contributor.
Oh,
But we also, yeah, we need to meet up, especially since you live in downtown. We'll have to either meet for a coffee or an adult beverage. And I'm sure we got a lot. We have a lot of stories between the two of us.
oh, I think
So
our circles have crossed that we weren't aware of prior. Now
yeah,
that I know about the Newton boy, I got to do some research. I think
the Newton
I
boy. It's a Newton boy again. You lost me.
Jerry.
Oh yes, Wayne Newton's older brother. Yeah. So I mean,
I think he might have driven me on one of my
very well. Yeah.
non-sanctioned road trips.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So, but no, there's a lot of love to catch up with you more on a lot of like Waukesha history from your time in high school and your horning days, and like so there's just a lot of great stories.
go Hawks.
Yeah, go Hawks. That's right. So, well, Rob Baxter,